Hi, my name is Holly and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we are going to go over getting your first Brazilian wax. I'm just gonna talk about simple things about like my thoughts, my opinions, my experience with my first Brazilian wax. So I currently have about 15 Brazilian waxes that I've done. So I would consider myself pretty good at this point. Definitely not if there's somebody who's been getting it done for years, but I have a pretty good understanding of how it works. So, to begin the story, let's rewind 2 weeks before the first Brazilian wax. So, 2 weeks before the first Brazilian wax, I did call the company that was going to be doing it, and I asked them like what were the rules, what they liked, and all this, and they did tell me to not shave for 2 to 2.5 weeks before getting the Brazilian wax. They said they liked the hair to be about the size of a grain of rice. So keep that in mind whenever you are first getting your Brazilian wax. If you're somebody who always shaves, don't shave 2 to 2.5 weeks before. It kind of depends on your hair growth and how fast it grows. So I stopped shaving about 2.5 weeks before my first Brazilian wax. So I went in there and the hair was definitely longer than a grain of rice, which is really good. It's what they wanted. The first time I ever went, it was actually because one of my really good friends had told me to, and she was like, "Oh girl, it doesn't hurt, it's fine, it's a breeze," whatever. I believed her. So I went in there and it was painful. It hurt so bad. So the first thing that I wish I would have known is, one, do not drink caffeine before you go. And the reason this is because the lady who did the Brazilian said that like whenever you drink caffeine, like your hormones, just something in your body is like overworking because of the caffeine. So she was like, definitely do not drink caffeine before you come in. She also said it's a really good idea to take ibuprofen if you're able to 30 minutes before, that would help the pain. So I was like, okay. So from there on out, from the second Brazilian on, I stopped drinking caffeine. Like I wouldn't have caffeine before I went, and I take an ibuprofen 30 minutes before I go. So up to the first Brazilian wax, when I got in there, it's super awkward, I'm not gonna lie, but we've all, or most of us, have had a kid or something like that. You'll kind of know what I'm talking about, but it's like your modesty kind of has to like go out the window with getting a Brazilian, because you're meeting this person for the very first time, and the first line to you is, all right, go ahead and take off your pants, your undies, whatever you're wearing, and get on the table. Which is kind of weird considering you just met the person, but okay, whatever, we'll keep going. So I go ahead and get on the table, and she's like, get into a butterfly position, which is basically where your hoo-ha is out, and your feet are like this, so it's like it's open. Your heels are like touching and you're open so that she can get everything. When the wax goes on, don't be alarmed, it is hot. Now if it's way too hot and you feel like it's just burning you, let the wax specialist know, so that can be maybe something that they can adjust or work with you on. For your first time though, I would definitely ask if they have a stress ball, like, you know, one that you can like squeeze if it gets too painful, because I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, it hurts. I wish I would have known, it hurts. But yeah, so I did ask for a stress ball in order to like squeeze it. The first half of it wasn't bad at all. It was actually pretty easy going. And real quick before I keep going, if you don't know what a Brazilian wax is, a Brazilian wax is where sometimes they'll leave like a strip of hair. I go completely bald, but they completely wax your whole pubic area, and they also do your butt, like inside your butt cheeks. That's what a Brazilian wax is. And I got mine personally because I was just tired of shaving. I mean, I'm a mom, and so it sounds bad. I know we all need personal care and personal hygiene, but if I could like not shave and save 5 minutes doing that, it may be 5 minutes I could use towards doing something with my son, cooking dinner, doing my schoolwork. So it just, for me, makes more sense. But anyway, now back to the verse. So she does the first half and it's fine. And when I say first half, if this is like your vagina, she did like the top half over here, over here. So now you all have left is the lips and like the labia area. That is where for me it got intense. Now, pain level is going to depend on you, hair, just a lot of different things. The thickness of your hair, the texture of your hair, the length of your hair. It's just, it's all just going to depend on so many things. So again, this is just my experience. So she puts like the wax on, and I could already tell it was gonna go very bad because she just kept adding baby powder to it, which it's normal to have sweating down there, but you add sweating on top of meeting somebody that you don't know, and you're just like balls to the wall type deal, like, hey, here I am, look at me. So it's normal to have sweating down there, so they're just gonna keep adding baby powder. But this one time she added the baby powder, and I guess was kind of like pulling it a little bit to see like how it was, and it hurt so bad that I considered walking out, wax on and all. I was ready to walk out of there. It hurt so bad. But the wax specialist was so amazing, and she literally just was talking to me and was distracting me, and the next thing I knew is she just ripped it. But it hurt. It hurt so bad. And I'm sorry I keep like touching my nose. It is where I live. We had a really bad ice storm, and so it's like freezing out, and my allergies are just like all over the place. But yeah, so she like ripped it, and it hurt so bad that stress ball, like my nails went into the stress ball. It was so bad. So that was half of one side. Like, if this is your lips right here, she literally did like half, and I still had the whole other half and the whole other side to go. So I was slotted to be in the wax room for an hour. It took an hour and a half because I was the biggest baby. I was so scared, and it hurt so bad, and I was ready to walk out. I was done. But I didn't. I survived. Obviously, I keep going back. But it was terrifying. I'm not even gonna lie. It was terrifying. So next comes as if, you know, sprawling yourself out isn't awkward enough. The next awkward part is when they're like, okay, turn over, spread your cheeks, and you're just like, what? So after she did the first part, and like I said, near the labia and the lips, for me personally, is where it hurt the worst. But I would not recommend doing what she did. I do have a new wax specialist now, who I believe is more highly trained. Definitely, whenever you're talking to a specialist, ask how many years of experience they have. That's something I wish I would have known as well. I went with like a newbie, just because I was like, yeah, sure, book me with whoever. No, definitely ask about like their experience, if they have any prior experience in it, like if they've gone from like one shop to another. Like, for example, the first wax specialist who I went to 3 times, it was her second year ever waxing. It's the only place she'd ever worked for. Okay, cool. But now the other specialist that I have has been doing it for like, I think she said like 25 years. She's from New York, and then she moved down here, just, you know, family and all that. And this is like the 3rd center she's worked at, but she's actually the manager there. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I definitely, with her, I feel way more comfortable. And I'll explain the difference between my first wax and then the wax I recently got a week and a half ago. So back to the Brazilian wax the first time. So she's done with the first half, and when I tell you I was almost in tears because of the pain, and it could be too, it was a lot of pain because the girl was so new. And when I say new, 2 years for a wax specialist is still extremely, extremely new. So it may be that reason, but the first time I know does hurt, just from talking to a lot of other people and all that. But if you can make it through your first time, 2 to 100 is a breeze. It does get easier because the hair grows in thinner, and it takes a little bit longer, so you can go like 3 to 4 weeks. I go about every 3 to 3.5 weeks, just because I hate the feeling of the regrowth. I love to be bald. I don't like feeling hair down there or anything like that. This is just me personally. I feel disgusting whenever I have it, just because I'm like, oh, it's unkept. Like, oh, what? But that's just me personally. I could just be weird. So she's like, go ahead, flip over. So I flipped over and we did the butt area. I didn't feel the butt area. It was easy breezy. I don't really have anything negative to say about that. The only thing I will ever mention is that always, so if this is like your vagina and this is your butt, so like your legs are like up like this, make sure they get in that little area between your butt and your vagina. Always make sure they get there, because that spot can be easily missed, just because it's down at the very bottom. It's right in between where nobody's ever really looking. But make sure you're paying for this. Remember that you are paying for this. You have the right to be like, can I see the mirror? Check it out, girl. Look at it. Make sure it is good. Your man, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whoever is looking at it, make sure. You don't want them being down there and seeing something. You're like, what? I paid so much money for this. Alright, so now that we've talked about the first time, recap. It's going to hurt. Ask for a squeeze ball. Don't drink caffeine. Take an ibuprofen if you're able to. 30 minutes before you go. You got this. Don't walk out. Now, on to pricing and products. So for pricing, where I live, again, I'm in Kentucky. Where I live, I paid $56 per wax. And sometimes they have packages where you can buy like, I don't know, like 12 packages and pay like $900 or something. I don't know. It's like a made up number. But they have like package deals, so it's cheaper. I just don't have the money for that, so I just pay every time. I know it's more expensive, but it's better than me paying $100 and something up front that I don't have. So pricing. They always say you pay for what you get. The cheaper it is, the more likely it's not the best, in my opinion. But the place that I go to is really great. And I feel like $56 is pretty reasonable. Onto products, you always want to get like a body polish, a body scrub, a serum, and a lotion. So with the body scrub, the point of the body scrub is to open up all the follicles down there, get all the dead skin out. Just like if you use like a sugar scrub, you know, you're scrubbing the dead skin. That's what that is, but it's made for your pubic area. The serum is to help with the ingrown hair. The lotion is to smooth it. So basically keep you smoother and also help with ingrown hair, where the serum can also help with if you're like ingrown hairs, where you can get like the red pimple types. It helps with that. The lotion can also help with the hair, so it's not as thick. And same with the body polish. It's more of like a body wash. It just kind of helps once you wipe off all the dead skin to just kind of get in there and soothe everything, get down into the follicles, keep them from growing super fast. But those are the 4 products that I have. It's the body scrub, body polish, serum, lotion. 4 products that I have. And those totaled about $100 and something. But with that being said, they've lasted me a really long time. Like, I've had them for a long time, and I'm just now having to probably about two more sessions. I'm gonna have to get new ones. Now, on to the, remember what I said the first time. The first one was about an hour and a half long of a session. There's many factors into this one. I did keep asking her to stop because it hurts so much. Don't be afraid to tell them, hey, it hurts. I need to take a break. But it was also probably because she was new too. So I was jumpy. I was like, hey, let's stop for a minute. And she's new. So we had a lot going with that one. Now, on to the last time I went, I was in there for 20 minutes. And when I say 20 minutes, I was in there, I mean, from the time I checked in to the time I checked out, it took me 20 minutes. It's a lot easier, a whole lot easier. Something else that I do need to mention is I don't have a period because I do have the IUD inseminated inside of me. So I don't have a period. However, there are times that I've gone where it's more sensitive down there, which tells me that I'd probably be like on my period this time of the month. And so if you're just off your period or just about to start your period, you're a lot more sensitive like in the labia area. So keep that in mind too for like when you're making your appointment, because you don't want to go when you're overly sensitive, because then that can really, really hurt. But yeah. So don't go, well, I mean, if you want to, I would ask a wax specialist what they think would be best for you. I wouldn't go, just personally, if it's going to be too sensitive. It's already a very sensitive area, and then just adding a period and sensitivity and hormones onto that is probably not a good idea. So the first time compared to the second time was still pretty painful. Nowhere near the first. I knew going in the second time what to expect. And like I said, I had gotten the tips as to like, don't drink caffeine, take an ibuprofen. So I did all those, and it really helped the second time. Third time on, it gets easier and easier. Like I said, I started at an hour and a half, and now I'm down to 20 minutes from the time I check in to the time I check out. It's 20 minutes. But again, that could also be wax specialist. Just make sure that you do your research. That's the best advice that I can give, is make sure that you do your research, and don't be scared to ask questions. Don't be scared to get a new wax specialist. Not every specialist is meant for a person. You know, I loved the first girl. Her personality was awesome. But the way she waxed, I didn't like it. I didn't feel like she was doing that good of a job. Now, with that being said, though, the only reason I really switched, let me back up. So the reason I say she didn't do too good of a job is because, remember that area that I told you, make sure they get, she missed it twice. And I only saw her 3 times. So she missed it 2 out of 3 times. And that was something huge for me, because I'm paying money for you to do me a service, and you're missing an area. So, but I'm such a nice person that I didn't want to say anything. And so the third time that I went, she did it, and she got it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe now she's got it. I thought she got it at all. I went home, and she missed part of the butt cheek. And I was like, so I say, always ask for a mirror. I learned that lesson too going. Always ask for a mirror. Remember, they're doing you a service. You're paying them to do you a service. Make sure that you're getting your money's worth for that service. So I get home, and I had noticed that she missed the area. So I actually called up there, because I was just going to cancel completely and just go back to shaving. Which is a big no-no. Once you start getting waxed, do not go back to shaving. It would, basically, if you wax and then go back to shaving, it's just like you did it for nothing, because the next time you go is just going to be like your very first time. So I called up there, and they were actually like, oh, blank is sick this week. Because remember, I'm just going to cancel. My appointment's about to come up. I'm just going to cancel. And they're like, oh, blank is sick. And I was like, oh, okay. They're like, but we can put you with blank. And I was like, okay, I'll give her a shot. So I go there, and the way that the new waxer does everything is so much better. Instead of like having you flip over, she like has you like put your legs up, kind of like if you're giving birth in a way, like how you pull your legs up like that. That's what she asked you to do, because she wants to make sure. I told her about what the other girl did, and she said, oh yeah, a lot of people do miss that. Just because like whenever you're on your side, you can miss that area, versus when you put your legs up, it's like, hey, it's right there. But yeah, overall, I would tell you to get a Brazilian wax. You will thank me in the long run. It's painful the first, second, third, even fourth time. It is still painful. But every time after that you keep going, it gets so much easier. And it's definitely worth it when you look down and you just see smoothness. And there's not, oh, I gotta shave again today. You know, it's definitely worth your money. I would definitely do your research. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to switch specialists. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, you missed this. Hey, I need a mirror. I want to see. You know, it's your body. You're paying them to do a service. You want it to be right. And it's also a good time to get some alone time if you're a mom. Even though you're paying somebody to basically put you in pain for a little bit, it's definitely worth it. I highly recommend it. But yeah, I'll probably make a video here in a few minutes and just upload it back to back of the 4 products that I have, so that I can better explain them and you can see them. But I don't have anything bad to say about the Brazilian wax except question your specialist, ask tons of questions, and do what you feel is right. Again, I get the Brazilian. And you can always leave a strip of hair. I like to go completely bald. Um, but yeah, make sure if you have any questions, comments, anything like that, put them down in the comment section below. Please subscribe, like this video. And if you all have any other videos that you want me to make or questions that you have, just let me know. Like I said, I'm an open book. I'll be completely honest. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.